On Sunday mornings, I would stand on stage leading hundreds of people in worship, my hands raised, my voice shaking, and tears streaming. People thought I was anointed, close to God. But what no one knew, was that on Sunday nights, those same hands would open websites I swore I would never visit again. And what I am about to confess, destroyed my ministry, my marriage, and nearly destroyed my life. If you have ever worn a mask in front of everyone, pretending to be holy while fighting secret battles, subscribe now and comment where you are watching from. This story, could be yours too, My name is Lucas. I'm 31 years old. And for 8 years, I was the worship leader at my church. The guy everyone looked up to. The guy who stood with his hands raised, eyes closed, voice trembling, leading others into the presence of God. People would cry during worship. They would say, "Lucas, when you sing, I feel heaven come down." They called me anointed, chosen, blessed, and maybe I looked like all those things on the outside. But inside I was something else entirely. Inside, I was rotting, I was drowning, I was addicted, not to drugs, not to alcohol, not even to women. I was addicted to something far more invisible, far more accepted in silence. But, just as destructive, I was addicted to lust, to pornography, to fantasies so dark, so shameful, that even speaking them out loud feels like a sin. And the worst part? I was addicted while serving on the altar, while leading worship, while holding a microphone in my hands. My heart was chained to a screen. It didn't start big. It never does. It started when I was a teenager. I was 13 years old. A random pop-up ad on my friend's computer. One click. That's all it took. I didn't even know what I was seeing. But something inside me woke up. Something that's never gone back to sleep. I closed the laptop that day. But the images stayed burned in my mind. I told myself it was just curiosity. Just one time. But one time turned into two. 2 into 10. 10 into hundreds. By the time I was 16, I was already living a double life. During the day, I was the good church kid, the son of leaders, the one always willing to serve. But at night, I became someone else, someone I hated, someone I feared. I'd cry after watching. I'd promise God, I'll never do it again. I'd delete everything, clean my history, block every site, break every vow. And then, a day later, sometimes hours, I was right back at it. I thought getting married would fix it. I believed the lie every Christian man tells himself. When I get married, this will go away. I'll finally have a wife. I won't need this anymore. But it didn't go away. It got worse, because now there was someone else to lie to, someone else I had to pretend with, someone who trusted me while I hid who I really was. Imagine this. I'd be preparing worship sets for Sunday, picking songs like, "Here I Am to Worship, I Surrender All," while knowing I hadn't surrendered anything, while knowing that just the night before, I was on a website watching strangers do things I wouldn't even dare say out loud. I would cry while leading worship. People thought it was the Holy Spirit, but it wasn't. It was guilt. It was shame. It was the weight of living as two people, one for the church and one in the dark. I became an expert at deleting histories, at locking my phone, at pretending I was tired when I was actually drained from my own sin. I memorized Bible verses and porn site passwords in the same brain. I could lift my hands on Sunday morning and then use those same hands for something else on Sunday night. I wasn't just battling lust. I was battling myself, my own hypocrisy, my own lies. And here's what nobody tells you about this kind of life. It's exhausting. Pretending to be holy while being secretly broken is the most draining thing in the world. You start to lose yourself. You start to forget who the real you even is. Some days, I felt like the worship leader. Other days, I felt like a fraud, a fake, a failure. I begged God to take it away. I fasted. I prayed. I cried on the floor for hours. But every time I stood up, it was still there, waiting, lurking, whispering. I told no one, because how do you tell someone, hey, I just led you in worship, but I'm addicted to porn? How do you confess that when you're the one people go to for prayer, when you're the one people think is close to God? I was supposed to be the example, the leader, the light, and instead, I was a man drowning in darkness, a man who knew how to sing about freedom while living as a slave. That's the truth. And if you've ever been here, if you've ever worn a mask this heavy, you know exactly how suffocating it feels. You smile in public, you break in private, you encourage others, but you can't even look in the mirror yourself. This is who I was. And the worst part, I didn't even know how to stop. Because after a while, the sin isn't just something you do. It's who you are. It becomes your escape, your comfort, your poison, your God. And the more I tried to fight it alone, the deeper it dragged me under. It started when I was 14. I was the pastor's kid, raised in church, raised around prayer, worship, and the presence of God. But one afternoon at a friend's house, everything shifted. We were supposed to be working on a school project. He left the room for a second. His laptop was open, and there it was, a tab someone had forgotten to close. I didn't even know exactly what I was looking at, but I couldn't look away. My hands shook, my heart raced. I knew it was wrong, but something inside me woke up, something dark, something hungry. I closed the laptop, pretended nothing happened, smiled when his mom brought us snacks. But that image, that moment, it branded my mind forever. That was the day everything broke. And from that day on, I was never the same. I started searching. First, innocent words and phrases. Then, videos. And with every click, something deeper took root inside me. Lust, curiosity, shame, and a terrifying feeling of, this feels good, but it feels wrong, but I don't want to stop. I prayed, I fasted, I cried at altars. I'd go to youth conferences, fall on my knees, cry out, God, take this from me. I'd leave feeling free, victorious, clean, and 2 days later, I'd be right back in the dark. I started believing I was broken beyond repair. I'd lead worship on Sunday morning, and Sunday night I'd be back at my laptop, drowning in the same filth I swore I would never touch again. I told myself, when I get married, this will stop. That was the biggest lie. Marriage didn't fix me. Ministry didn't fix me. Leading worship didn't fix me. If anything, it made it worse. Because now, I had more to lose. I had a wife. I had a platform. I had a reputation. And the more I tried to hide it, the heavier it became. Every song I led felt like a lie. Every hallelujah that came out of my mouth felt hollow, empty, like I was mocking God. People would raise their hands, tears rolling down their faces, while I stood there thinking, if they knew, if they really knew who I am when no one's watching, they wouldn't be here. I would step off the stage, smile, shake hands, pray for others, then go home, lock myself in the bathroom, and fall again, over and over and over. I wasn't just addicted, I was chained. And what nobody tells you is that ministry doesn't protect you from your secret sins. Sometimes it hides them. Sometimes the platform becomes the perfect mask. I became the master of pretending. And the worst part? I started to believe my own lies. I started thinking, maybe this is just my thorn. Maybe this is who I am. But every night, after the screens went dark, the guilt would suffocate me. The voice in my head never stopped. You're a fraud, a hypocrite. God's done with you. And yet, I couldn't stop. I was addicted to the high of worship and the high of lust, one feeding my soul, the other feeding my flesh, and both destroying me from the inside out. The addiction took over everything. It wasn't something I was fighting anymore. It was something I was feeding. I became two people, completely. In the morning, I was the worship leader. I'd sit in church, meetings, plan Sunday services, give spiritual advice to others, smile, pray, act like I was on fire for God. And then, at night, I'd lock myself in the bathroom, in the car, anywhere I could be alone, and I'd drown. I'd binge for hours, videos, photos, stories, things so dark that even saying them out loud makes my stomach turn. I started creating secret folders, hidden files, fake accounts, passwords buried under passwords. At first, it was just random videos. Then it got deeper. Fetishes, things I never imagined I'd search for. And every time when it was over, the guilt hit me like a truck. I'd stare at the screen, disgusted with myself, whispering, "What is wrong with me?" I tried to stop. God knows, I tried. I deleted everything, vowed to never go back. I'd fast. I'd stay up praying. I'd throw my phone away. I'd block sites. I'd cry on my knees, begging God to take it away. And yet, like clockwork, a few days later, the craving would come back, and I would fall hard. It got so bad, I started skipping worship rehearsals, making excuses. I don't feel well. Work was too much. But the truth, I was drowning. My wife noticed. I became cold, distant. I didn't want to be touched, didn't want intimacy. Not because I didn't love her, but because I was too ashamed, too broken. And the worst part, the presence of God, the presence I used to feel when I led worship, it was gone, completely gone. I'd stand on stage with my guitar, looking holy, hands raised, and inside, I was empty. I'd cry during worship, but not because of the Holy Spirit. I cried because I felt like a fraud, a liar, a dead man pretending to be alive, asterisk. And every time someone said, "Man, when you worship, I feel God so deeply," it felt like another knife in my chest. They had no idea who I really was. No idea that the guy leading them into God's presence couldn't even hear his voice anymore. It happened on a random Tuesday. Just like that, I was careless, left my laptop open. A notification popped up. She clicked, and everything came out. Every file, every folder, every conversation, every video. Years of darkness exposed in seconds. She stood there, frozen. I walked into the room and saw her face, pale, shaking. Her eyes, I will never forget her eyes. Not angry, not screaming, just shattered, broken. She looked straight at me and said something that stabbed deeper than any curse ever could. "You stand on the altar, but you live in hell when you step down." I couldn't breathe. I couldn't speak. My mouth opened to deny it, but nothing came out. Because how do you lie when the truth is staring back at you? I tried. I really tried. It's not what it looks like. It's from years ago. I'm fighting it. Lies, weak, pathetic lies, that crumbled before they even left my mouth. She didn't scream. She didn't throw anything. She just walked out, quiet, dead inside. And the silence she left behind was louder than any argument. The next morning, I woke up to find out she had told the pastor. Everything, every detail. No filter, no mercy. That Sunday, I wasn't on stage. I wasn't behind the microphone. I wasn't even in the church. People noticed. People asked, "Where's Lucas?" And soon, they knew. Everyone knew. My phone blew up. Calls, messages. Is it true? Tell me it's not true. But how do you answer when the truth feels heavier than death? I wasn't just removed from the worship team. I wasn't just removed from my home. I was removed from myself, from the man I pretended to be, from the man everyone thought I was. I remember looking in the mirror and not recognizing the person staring back for years. I led others to God's presence, and now I couldn't even find him for myself. I wasn't on stage. I wasn't in my marriage. I wasn't even in me. I was nowhere. The days after felt like living inside a nightmare you can't wake up from. My wife packed her things. She left. No goodbye. No, let's talk. Just silence. The pastor called me. Once, just once, he wasn't angry. He was disappointed. And somehow, that hurt even more. He said, "Lucas, you need help. You're not fit to lead anyone until you face yourself." The worship team? They didn't even reach out. Not a single message. The people who used to cry when I sang vanished. Overnight, I became a ghost. I stayed locked in a small rented room, alone, looking at the same four walls, asking myself, how did I get here? I opened my Bible, but the pages felt blank. I tried to pray, but it felt like heaven was closed, like God hit block on me. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, couldn't breathe without the crushing weight of knowing. I destroyed everything. My marriage, my ministry, my testimony, everything. My phone kept buzzing, but it wasn't friends. It was rumors. People sending screenshots, gossip spreading like wildfire. Did you hear about the worship leader? He's the one who preached purity every Sunday while living in filth. I started thinking, maybe it's better if I just disappear. Completely. For the first time, death didn't feel scary. It felt like relief. But even in that darkness, a whisper kept coming back. This isn't the end. It can't be. I didn't know if it was God, or just my own mind refusing to accept the grave I dug for myself. But I knew something had to change. Either I die like this, or I fight. For the first time, not to look holy, not to look free, but to actually be free, truly, fully, finally. I wish I could tell you that everything changed overnight, that I woke up, prayed, and the addiction was gone. But that's not what happened. What happened was war. A war inside my head, my body, my spirit. I started therapy. Not because I wanted to, but because it was the only option left. I walked into that first session thinking, this won't work. But for the first time, someone looked me in the eye and said, "You're not evil, but you are enslaved." Those words broke me. I joined a support group. Men just like me. Ministers, pastors, worship leaders, fathers, all of us, carrying smiles on Sunday and shame on Monday. Hearing their stories felt like hearing my own voice echo through strangers. I realized I wasn't alone, but I was responsible. I started journaling every day, writing letters to the man I pretended to be and to the man I wanted to become. Some days I won. Other days I fell harder than ever. There were nights I deleted everything only to reinstall it hours later. Nights when I sat on the bathroom floor, shaking, whispering, God, I don't want this anymore. Please. For the first time, my prayer wasn't make me holy so others respect me. It was, make me holy because I can't survive like this. I learned something brutal. Freedom isn't an event. It's a daily funeral. A funeral for who you were, for what controlled you, for the lies you lived. Today, I'm still fighting. I'm not fully free, but I'm not fully bound either. I'm in the mill, in the trenches. And maybe that's where real transformation happens. Not at the mountaintop, but in the dirt, where you bleed, where you cry, where you finally stop pretending and start becoming God. And now, it's your turn to be honest. Maybe you've been sitting there pretending this isn't about you, pretending you've got it under control. That one more video won't ruin you. One more secret won't destroy your family, your marriage, your ministry, your soul. But let me tell you something from the deepest, darkest place I've ever been. You don't control it, it controls you. Every last time is just another lie. Every I'll stop tomorrow is a rope tightening around your neck. You think nobody knows? God knows. You think nobody sees? You see. And every time you look in the mirror, you know exactly who you are when no one's watching. And maybe right now, you're thinking, it's not that bad. Let me tell you, it is. It's worse than you think, because the longer you wait, the harder it gets, the deeper you sink, and the harder it becomes to remember who you were before this monster wrapped itself around your life. I'm not here to judge you. I can't. I was you. I am you, but I'm also telling you there is a way out, not an easy one. Not magical, not instant, but real, honest, bloody, raw, but real. You've got to stop lying. Stop pretending. Talk to someone. Find help. Say it out loud. Name it. Drag it into the light. Because what lives in the dark grows in the dark. But when you expose it, it starts to die. Freedom starts when the silence ends. And if you think it's too late, it's not. If you think you're too far gone, you're not. You're just one confession away from the first step toward healing. The question is, will you take it? This was my confession. I'm not proud of it. I'm not sharing it because I'm healed or perfect or better than anyone else. I'm sharing it because hiding almost killed me. And maybe you'll be next if you don't speak up. I lost everything trying to pretend I was okay. I lost my ministry. I almost lost my marriage. I lost myself. And if that's the price of silence, then I'd rather be judged for telling the truth than destroyed for living a lie. If you're watching this, and your story sounds like mine, don't be silent. Don't die in the shadows. Comment here. Share your story. No one is here to judge you. This space, this community, is for people like me, like you. People who are tired of fake smiles, tired of raising their hands in worship while hiding handcuffs in secret. Here, we don't pretend to be perfect. We struggle. We fall. We rise. We heal. Together. So leave a comment. You are not alone. You are not the sum of your secret battles. And healing begins when shame dies. My name is Lucas. And this is my truth. Now it's your turn. What's yours? Leave it in the comments and never forget that there are people who will be healed through your story. Keep watching this video that is appearing on your screen.